Does it feel good that I've just shared my entire eating disorder with the internet? Kind of. And I'll go into college, but I will say I also stopped looking in the mirror. My body dysmorphia was at an all-time high. I took ballet classes every single day, and yet I purposely avoided the mirror by dissociating. So for 2 hours of the day every day, I was dissociated completely while I was in ballet class just so I couldn't look in the mirrors. I covered up every mirror in my house, the ones that I could try to avoid, and I just super hated myself, and I don't think anyone deserves that. Okay, excuse the dip in camera quality or whatever. I decided to keep talking on my phone because I'm in a roll, so I didn't want to like stop. um, so I just want to reiterate, as I close off my college years, or my high school years, excuse me, I just want to say how miserable I was. I literally was so sad. I was self-harming every day. I was, had intense fear of abandonment. I developed a lot of disorders that I didn't know I had, but I had them all during high school. I was untreated. And a point of contention, my family didn't really believe in mental health. I come from a predominantly black family. They didn't know how to handle me. They didn't know what to do next. And so around 17 is when I took on my own mental health care, and that's when I tried to figure out what was going on with me. I started Googling every day. What is this? What is restricting? What are the things that I've been doing to my body? What are the consequences? And that's kind of why I stopped a little bit, but it was mostly just I needed to get by. And so the first few years of college were fine. When you say you gained the freshman 15, I gained the freshman 50. It was the first time in school that I had not just free lunch, but UCLA has this great food program, and I was able to eat buffets every single meal, and I didn't know how to handle that as a poor child. I was like, I must store all of this before they like take it away from me. So I did, and I ate a lot, and it wasn't really comfort for me, but it was just I needed to get it, and I wanted to try everything. So those were pretty innocent. And then junior year, around the exact same time, around 4 years after my eating disorder started, it came back with a vengeance. I could not get any meal down. I wasn't able to throw up or purge in high school, but by the time I reached college, boy, was that coming out. I actually got sick. I had the flu, and it led me to be able to throw up. And I started doing it, and I started doing it a lot. And I was like, hey, let me check out this world renowned gym. Let me go for 4 hours in a day. Um, and I did. And then I started restricting. I stopped going to meals and hanging out with friends. And at first, it was like super okay. I felt good. I was losing weight. It was fine, but I was also in therapy at the time. I started therapy when I was 17, and so I had the same therapist all throughout college. I still have her. She's great. But I did that, and it just didn't seem right. I knew what was wrong with me, but I guess a major theme that I do want to talk about is the fact that I never felt sick enough. In my whole entire eating disorder, I never felt sick enough, and that is part of an eating disorder. It makes you feel like you're not sick enough, you're not skinny enough. And so I was super worried about that. And so I think all that shame that I got from the Pro Anna website of like them being like, you're not skinny enough, you should be shunned from this website because you're not losing enough weight quick enough, really got to me, and it told me that I wasn't skinny enough and that I was going to be this huge monster with my body dysmorphia. When I look in the mirror, I literally think I am the like biggest person in the entire world, even though I know that's not true. And I just can't help it. I'm like, and there's like all these like cognitive loopholes your mind will do of being like, yeah, I'm only X amount of pounds and the largest person is 700 pounds, but have they looked at my thighs? And it's just, there's so much shame that can be coming around and just carried around. So I decided to tell my therapist and get some help for this. I'd always talked about my eating disorder, but I just never felt sick enough, so I didn't think that I had anything. And then senior year got worse. The restricting, the purging, the over-exercising, it got to the point in which I couldn't handle it. It wasn't that I was too sick and needed to go to the hospital. It was just like I could not handle my situation. I didn't feel in control anymore. And whenever I did feel out of control, I started restricting, doing these huge plans to lose weight. Now, I went into my first partial hospitalization for eating disorders in my senior year of college. That was the first time that I was ever treated and said that I had an eating disorder. And I think also a reason that I had so much, like, I'm not sick enough is because I was diagnosed in my junior year of college with eating disorders not otherwise specified, and that just means that I have the eating disorder, but I don't have the criteria or the weight requirement to fit into anorexia, and that was a huge thing for me because I didn't feel anorexic. I didn't feel worthy of that title. I thought that title was the bee's knees and the best thing that could ever happen, and I just didn't get that, so I didn't know that I was sick enough. I went to a partial hospitalization. It's where we had 2 assisted meals, we had art therapy, we had group therapy for like 5 hours in the day, and it was super hard. I was going through a friendship struggle at the time, but it was so incredibly hard to eat and to think about eating and talk about eating, and it showed me how much struggling I had been doing my whole life. I think about my eating disorder every day, multiple times a day. That's a lot of days. So I went to a partial, it was fine. I kind of walked away from it, just kind of was suicidal for the next year. But then as I was getting better, it was kind of like when I wasn't suicidal or cutting, then I was starving. And so when my suicidality kind of went away with all my medication and all of that, all was left was my eating disorder. And so we come to today. I am currently seeing a doctor, a psychiatrist, a therapist, an eating disorder therapist, and a dietitian. That is my team currently to help me with my various problems, but also my eating disorder. I've only had 1 session with every single person. I am super scared and nervous to see what happens. When I found out that I possibly might be anorexic, hear that cognitive distortion? I was like, I'm finally anorexic. But that wasn't a good thing. It validated me and it told me, hey, those years of suffering that you've had, you suffered and we're here for you now. But it lasted for about a week. I think I felt good about myself for a week and felt like I could do this. But I'm reaching a really big flare-up with my eating disorder, and it seems to happen every single time I'm about to go to the doctor. Every single time I'm about to have an eating disorder-related appointment, about 2 days before, I get extremely sick. I stop eating, I regain all those negative goals that I had, and I just relapse, and I can't help it. And so my girlfriend has been super instrumental in helping me through all of this. I currently don't know what to do. I think what's interesting about these eating disorder videos that I've seen online is that they're always like, this was my eating disorder. Here are my pictures. This is how I recovered. Or I didn't recover, but I'm over it. And I'm like, how? Like, could you, like, pause and tell me, like, how you did it? So I don't have the answers. I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I don't know if I'm gonna live because of my eating disorder. But I wanna fight. I know that. I wanna fight and I wanna get better so I can be with my girlfriend and my family and do my dreams. But I gotta fight every day. I have to eat multiple times a day. I have to journal about eating multiple times a day. I have to push myself and not believe all the hatred that I've held in my body for years. And that shit is hard. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But I'm really into mental health. I love mental health and learning about ourselves and learning all this stuff. So I decided to start a body image journey. Along with all the other journeys that I'm doing. And whether I followed through on this or not, it's my health. I'm gonna keep doing this, but whether I keep it up on YouTube, we'll see. People can get really touchy about this stuff. But the reason I'm doing this is because I need help. And I'm not doing this so I can get views or get like super famous off this. I'm doing this because I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only disabled, black, queer person with an eating disorder out there. And we have what representation? What? What representation? So, here I am. I'm going to be the main character of my motherfucking story. And I'm going to try to recover from my eating disorder. And I'm going to keep you guys updated with it.